Okay folks, I'm doing exercise 9 out of chapter 3 of Programming Principles and Practice using C++. It says, there is an old story that the emperor wanted to thank the inventor of the game of chess and asked the inventor to name his reward. The inventor asked for 1 grain of rice for the first square, 2 for the second, 4 for the third, and so on, doubling for each of the 64 squares. That may sound modest, but there wasn't that much rice in the empire. Write a program to calculate how many squares are required to give the inventor at least 1,000 grains of rice, at least 1,000,000 grains, and at least 1,000,000,000 grains. You'll need a loop, of course, and probably an int to keep track of which square you're at, an int to keep the number of grains on the current square, and an int to keep track of the grains on all previous squares. We suggest that you write out the value of all your variables for each iteration of the loop so that you can see what's going on. So here's my solution. Basically, I iterate from 0 all the way up to 63, and I take the 2 raised to whatever power to get the current grains of rice on the current square. I add the current grains to an accumulator, and then I have an if statement here. If the grains of rice are greater than 1,000 or equal to 1,000, and we haven't reached 1,000 yet, then we print out the value of this iteration plus 1, and we set a boolean equal to true. And it's the same pattern for 1,000,000 and 1,000,000,000. So let's run this guy and see what the answers are. So as you can see, square 1 is worth 1 grain of rice, 2 is worth 4, 3 is worth 8, 3 is worth 4, 4 is worth 8. It just keeps doubling, right? So to get at least 1,000 grains of rice, we need 10 squares of the chessboard. To get 1,000,000 grains of rice, we need 20. And to get 1,000,000,000, 30. And then, as you can see, the numbers start getting so large that an overflow occurs, and we just get a bunch of zeros here, right? So the number of grains of rice for the full chessboard, all 64 squares, is so large that it can't be stored in a unsigned int without overflowing. So that's interesting, right? You know, what would we do then? I don't know, but that's exercise 9 for you. And if you ask for 1 square of rice or 1 grain of rice for every square on the chessboard, doubling each time, you get a lot of rice. So that's what I learned today.